Hey there, Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies. I got a question from somebody in a recent call, which was, they said, marketing feels like an ill-fitting suit to me. How do I get used to wearing it? I thought it was such a beautifully rendered question. And, because boy, doesn't it feel like this? We're told to do these things, we're told to market ourselves in a certain way, and it feels like we're being asked to put on some clothing. It's too tight, it's too loose, everyone's going to notice, everyone's going to see this looks terrible, it doesn't feel good, it chafes, it itches. People must be looking at me thinking how embarrassing that I'd even be wearing such a thing. It's constrictive. I can't move like I normally would. So it's a good question. There's a lot in there. And here's what I said back. This is part of the challenge that I see in the marketing world is people are pulling these suits right off the shelf. I mean, first of all, that it's a suit. There's a lot of other ways that people dress around the world that are not suits, dressed up like sharks. So that's problem number one. People think it has to be a suit. Problem number two is they all get the same one. You can tell. It's not that imitation's a bad thing, but I've had colleagues of mine where they have a certain style and I could look at somebody's ad and I could say, oh, you went to this person's workshop. And I've seen people's uniqueness get carved away by these standardized formulaic approaches. I've seen their authentic self actually be covered up. Instead of the marketing expressing it, it covers it up because they're using this, tried and true formula. And now they look like all the other coaches. They're dressed like all the other coaches because they're in the same suit. So in the beginning, it's understandable. We want a formula. We want to just, what do I do? Kind of, paint by numbers. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I get clients. Completely understandable. And in the beginning, I don't think it's all bad because that's part of how you learn marketing. That's part of how you learn your style is you start doing a lot of things that aren't your style. But I said ultimately what happens is it's better to take the fabric from various sources and make your own clothing and regalia from that. And regalia is probably a better word than just suit, because there's something formal and ceremonial about it. But yeah, it's nice to have some swagger. It's good to be dressed nice and beautifully. If not for you, for other people. We got to look at you all the time. So traditional cultures around the world, I mean, when they bust out the regalia, it looks fine. It puts the modern world's clothing utterly to shame. And so, in the absence of really being able to inherit some sort of regalia that's going to fit you and has a story to it, we end up having to make our own, which, let's just say, it is an extremely impoverished position. But what you can do is you get the fabric from a bunch of different sources. And then you learn something about tailoring, and you sit down and you start to make your own regalia, whatever that is. You start to make your own clothing. Maybe that's a dress, maybe it's a kilt, maybe it's pants, maybe it's, a formal 3-piece suit, maybe it's a tuxedo, maybe it's whatever it is, a shawl, a gown, a sari, a muumuu. You start to make your own. And you make sure that it fits you. You make sure that it fits you just perfectly. That's really key. It's got to fit you. It's got to feel good and look the way you want it to look. So, yeah, if you're finding marketing as a suit that doesn't fit, number one, question the whole purchasing suits. Number two, question this idea of buying something that isn't tailor-made for you. Again, it makes sense in the beginning because we don't have a lot of money and the custom-made thing costs more, but the custom-made thing also lasts longer. Clothes used to last your whole life. You'd buy one suit and you'd have that suit forever because it was so well made. The material quality was great. The cut was good. It was sized just perfectly for you. So get the fabric. Make something unique, extraordinary, attention-grabbing, if that's what you want, that expresses you. Instead of it covering you, it actually expresses you. And again, the poverty of this is this used to be done at a cultural level, that your clothing actually expressed the people you were from. And we're in a day and age where a lot of us don't have any sense of people anymore. And so we're left with this individual expression, personal expression. And that's a real low level. But we got to start where we are. And what you do find is, as you get the fabric from various sources and you cut it together into something, you'll find people who are dressed similar to you. And this could be the beginning of some kind of sense of we, some baby steps towards it. It's not bad. So there we go. I think I've drilled that metaphor into the ground. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Thank you to the one who asked the question. It's such a beautiful question. If you'd like some more help, some of my fabric, you can go to my website, marketingforhippies.com. There's just a ton of free stuff there. The starter kit that I have, I drip little bits of fabric, little squares on Instagram on a regular basis. You can check those out. And of course, videos coming out on YouTube pretty much every day. So that's it. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Take care.